and welcome to another sports podcast. My name is Cayman. I am your host, and I will be coming to you guys with some sports topics today. NFL playoffs are in full effect. What a week of football we were able to witness last week. Now we're going into next weekend. We got the Seahawks versus the 49ers. We got the Bills at Broncos. We have some very intriguing games coming up this week when it comes to the National Football League. Did you guys like what y'all saw from CJ Stroud? I don't know. A lot of people are talking about what happened to him. I don't know. That rookie season was legendary. That rookie season was something different. He was moving differently during that rookie campaign than he is now. So what does that mean for the Texans? They're not going to be able to afford the mistakes that they had during that time that we saw on Monday night versus the Steelers. They're not going to be able to be afforded that same expense going into the next round. So what does that really mean? We got a lot of things going on. We have some things going on in the NBA as well. Ja Morant is no longer going to be a Memphis Grizzlies. Grizzly by the trade deadline is looking like. So we will get into that as well. So when the Houston Texans face the New England Patriots in the divisional round, we're going to witness and see what they are made of and what CJ Stroud is made of. Looking forward to that. Rams Bears as well. The Bears came back on the Green Bay Packers miraculous way. Caleb Williams did what he needed to do, established himself in his very first playoff game. He showed exactly why he was drafted with the number one pick a couple years back. So NFL, great slate of games that we witnessed, but I have to start the podcast off with the biggest story I think in the NFL right now, which is Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin decided to step down. The Steelers have had 3 coaches in their organization, and now they will be looking for their 4th head coach. Here's an article from ESPN written by Brooke Pryor on Mike Tomlin stepping down. Mike Tomlin has stepped down as Pittsburgh Steelers head coach, ending a 19-year run during which he had never had a losing season. Tomlin, 53, is expected to coach elsewhere in 2026, sources told ESPN's Adam Schefter. The Steelers announced Tomlin's decision Tuesday afternoon, saying his track record will likely never be duplicated. Yeah, but you could probably, I don't know. But I need your take on Ja, because I'm going to be talking about Ja soon, so. But Tomlin said in a statement that he decided to step down after much thought and reflection. This organization has been a huge part of my life for many years and has been an absolute honor to lead this team, he said. I am deeply grateful to Art Rooney and the late Ambassador Rooney for their trust and support. I am also thankful to the players who gave everything they had every day, and to the coaches and staff whose commitment and dedication made this journey so meaningful. Mike Tomlin, after 19 years, as I read and mentioned there, never had a losing season in Pittsburgh, steps down. I don't know if this was an organizational decision. I don't know if they kind of tapped him like, okay, it's time. After not winning a playoff game since 2010 or 2011, that's a very long time to not have success in the postseason. And sometimes it's like your message gets stale. You need to change the scenery. That doesn't mean you're a bad coach. And this is what I really wanted to talk about today. You see a John Harbaugh. You see a Mike Tomlin. You see some of these guys that are great coaches, has been in a system and in an organization for so long. I mean, we saw this with Bill Belichick. After a very long time in establishing this culture and winning a lot of championships, yes, Tom Brady had a lot to do with it, but so did that damn Bill Belichick. And the defenses and the game plans that he would scheme, and the discipline of the culture that he created, along with some of the great players that were there. Mike Tomlin and what he was able to do for Pittsburgh for this time has to be commended. But your message can get stale if you're in the same predicament for that many years. If you have this culture and you've built it, your message can get mundane. Your voice can get it's just like in one ear and out the other. Like, let's be real and let's go back a little bit of time when you had Big Ben and you had Antonio Brown and you had Le'Veon Bell and you had even a Juju at the time ascending. You know, the characters and the cast of characters that you had on there, you were supposed to be able to win a championship and compete on a day in and day out basis, each and every year with that team. Ever since Big Ben left, the Steelers have been trying to find their quarterback. And guess what? A 40-something-year-old Aaron Rodgers, even if he were to come back and play another year, is not the answer. The Steelers, the legendary, the accolade winning, the Lombardi hosting Steelers. They ain't like the damn Cowboys who ain't won nothing since the 90s. They have relevant hardware. But it's been a while. And it's a testament that they've only had 3 coaches in their history. It's a testament to how that organization runs. It's a testament to the Rooney family and what they've done throughout maintaining a culture of winning and structure. It's a testament to all that. But you can only do the same thing for so many years before your message gets stale. It's time for a reset. And Mike Tomlin had to step down, not because he's a bad coach, not because he wasn't finding success, but what's that next level look like? You got to put some extra stuff to your resume. We saw what happened when Andy Reid joined Kansas City and then ended up getting Patrick Mahomes. If Andy Reid just stayed in Philadelphia, great coach. Sometimes you just need that change of scenery. I don't know if Mike Tomlin is going to take a year off, analyze, then put his foot back in. But whoever is going to get Mike Tomlin next, whoever's going to get a John Harbaugh next, I'm looking forward to that team's future and what those guys can do when it comes to building a culture of winning, structure, discipline, play hard, compete. Those are the qualities of what those coaches exemplify. And it is really an end of an era when it comes to some of these coaches that we just grew up watching and always have been very, very highly competitive with their rosters that they put in front of you. So it's going to be interesting to see what Mike Tomlin is going to do next. There's a lot of head coaching vacancies in the NFL right now. My damn Raiders, oh my Lord. Nobody even wants to go there. Nobody wants to touch them. They have the number 1 pick. Nobody even gives a damn. This is a type of culture that you set at this damn establishment. I don't know why people still root for this team. I love the heritage. I love Al Davis. God rest his soul. His son has taken this franchise over and ruined each and everything. You fire coach after coach. You got like 3-4 coaches on payroll right now, and they're not coaching in your building. You just fired them. You just let them go. You're just spending money for no reason. Bad organizational structure, and Mark Davis sold the team. Let's hop over to the NBA. It was reported a couple days ago, and let me get some reports now. Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies relationship should be coming to an end very, very soon. Um, it was reported that they are looking to move Ja Morant, and let's get this article here. The Memphis Grizzlies are entertaining trade offers for two-time All-Star Ja Morant, sources tell ESPN Shams Charania on Friday. A trade would end Morant's tumultuous 7-year tenure in Memphis, which had featured Rookie of the Year and Most Improved Players awards and plenty of jaw-dropping highlights. But his multiple off-court issues and various injuries have dominated the headline across the past 3 seasons. I think they had a stat that said that Ja has actually played in probably 50% of the games in the last 3 or 4 years for the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, I don't want to go over, and I actually have to go over the troubled history. If we remember, Ja Morant did have the gun problem. And Ja Morant had this problem where he was shown in public 2 different times with a firearm on Instagram Live once and in a strip club the other. Ja Morant, at that time, when it came to his on-court abilities and the heights that he was achieving on the court, it looked like he was in line to garner something that I don't think he understood necessarily how big that could have been potentially. We're talking about next Allen Iverson generational type of acclaim and attraction that Ja Morant had, and it was ascending. It was higher than what we see with how people talk about Anthony Edwards. We did our episode about abroad players versus United States born players. We know that the United States right now, it's a little iffy on who they really have to take this thing to the next level. When we have a Luka Doncic, and we have a Nikola Jokic, and we have a Giannis Antetokounmpo, and we have a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, all from somewhere else. And looks like they're the best players in the NBA right now. What does the United States have to offer in talent and top tier talent when it comes to that? Now, yes, the rest of this league is pretty much, I mean, it's mixed. Yes, there's a lot of more international players, but I still think Americans are the standard, and just because we're athletic. We're talking about black people right now anyway. I mean, we do have our Cooper flags, and we have some of our white people, especially in the United States, that, you know, can shoot, or there's some sprinkled in there. But when it comes to these niggas, we know how to jump, run, we're athletic. So in an athletic sport, yes, we're still going to dominate that, but there's a lack of discipline in learning the fundamentals versus what they're actually learning over there in Europe and abroad, and how to play the game. And Steve Nash was talking about capitalism is cool and all, but when a nigga got to charge $150 to make sure your son is good at basketball, and I can make him shoot, and I can do all that, they ain't doing that in other countries. They ain't doing no $200 basketball training sessions and seminars and all that. Capitalism then turned basketball over here in the United States into this major, like, niche type of, like, you can only, if you got money, you got bread, that's the only way you gonna get this trainer and do all that. That's not how basketball used to be in the United States. Now you need a trainer for this amount of money. Now these kids want certain trainers who worked with certain people. Like, that's not what the game was about. Now all of a sudden, this is what we're dealing with in the United States. With all that being said, back to Ja Morant and the point I was making, we needed somebody like a Ja Morant that was going to keep that element of excitement, somebody that people can garner. We're talking about the face of the NBA, and that's why I don't feel like Ja really understood back then what he was about to be gifted with LeBron and Steph and KD, all of them guys leaving out of the NBA very soon and being older in age. Who's that next guy? Zion Williamson, Ja Morant. Came out 1 and 2 picks. Both had very high potential. Ja was facing suspensions. Ja went through a lot of things. And in spite that, the last couple years and how the Grizzlies have handled Ja Morant, in my estimation, have been dirty. I don't understand it. And let me just set the table for this. So, a couple years back, Taylor Jenkins, who is a Coach of the Year candidate, a coach that Ja Morant respected, that was the coach when Ja had his problems, and the Memphis Grizzlies, who were this grit and grimy team back when they had, well, even after that, but they had your boy Mike Miller, and then you had like Zach Randolph and Marcus Gasol and Tony Allen, Mike Conley. Like, that was like a grit. That was like, we getting out the mud. We playing defense. Like, we smart at basketball. It's not your athletic bunch where they're jumping over the gym at you, no, but they're playing smart basketball. They're playing solid defense. They rely on the fundamentals of the game in order to really be effective. And people that was attractive. They rallied behind that type of mentality when it came to a team. Like, nobody else had a team like that. It was really just superstars.
I'm saying, because even recently, Clay has even spoke about how it was to play that Zach Randolph, Mike Conley Grizzlies team in comparison to this Ja Morant Grizzlies team, and the lack of defense is only one of the many drawbacks that Klay Thompson compared to Ja Morant's game. But I still find it very interesting. It hasn't been that long since that squad was the starting lineup for the Memphis Grizzlies. So
right.
How quickly do we change from that transition to Mike Conley to Ja Morant's height, which were only just, again, like 2 years ago, to now we're having these trade talks.
And now we're having these trade talks, and I'm not going to say Ja Morant looks disengaged. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that Ja Morant doesn't have the same athletic ability, the same ability just in general that he once garnered. It has looked different in these last 2 years, and that's why I wanted to set the table, because I mentioned Taylor Jenkins for a reason. Taylor Jenkins was that coach, and what happens to Taylor Jenkins a couple years back? Let me get his name. Tomas Isolo, a European coach, joins Taylor Jenkins' staff as a assistant coach. Okay, wasn't Taylor Jenkins' pick of an assistant coach. And yes, some franchises have picked coaching staffs for coaches, but when I've been a Coach of the Year candidate, when I've won and continued the relevancy of what Memphis is. Oh, that was my other point. With all that being said, that grit and grime and defense and all that, it's not a lot of people like Xavier that actually liked the Memphis Grizzlies. You like the stars. You like the LeBron James and the Kobe Bryants and the other stars that are in the league, the Tim Duncans, even though he was the boring superstar. But you liked those teams more than you would like a Memphis Grizzlies fan. It was a very small percentage of people that actually really wanted to rally behind that team just because they were the grit. But that's just how the entertainment part of of basketball is now. You're going to want to see the stars and stuff like that. But Memphis, it's hard to gain relevancy in Memphis. Like, even though they stood for all that, like, they want a star. So for Ja Morant to be a star and to go to this team, it was like a match made in heaven in a way. a city like Memphis, which does have its rough parts and stuff like that, but a city like Memphis that 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 garnered behind a team that was the grit team of the Zach Randolph in them, loved to have a superstar in town just like Ja Morant, that was an entertaining show. They probably ain't had nobody that entertaining since damn Elvis, and that was I don't know how long ago. So now we're here. Back to Tomas Isolos.
Disrespected so many Memphis rappers.
Who? Memphis rappers?
Yes.
I mean, yes.
You
But
said
Ja?
they have nobody since Elvis?
Bro, Ja was dunking over 7-footers, like 7'2", like he got Wemby on a poster. Like they ain't had nobody that exciting that put people in arenas. There are some Memphis rappers, yes. But like what Ja was doing? Tomas Isolos. Tomas Isolos was picked by the organization to go on Taylor Jenkins' staff, the head coach. So they're picking people to go on his staff, number one. Number two, they said, hey, Taylor Jenkins, we're going to run this guy's offense. You know, he's great out there in Europe, and, you know, I think we should do less of the pick and rolls and having the ball in Ja Morant's hands, and I think we should play his offense. And Taylor Jenkins is like, hold on, I'm the head coach. I'm a Coach of the Year winner, recipient. We're in the playoffs. I was the number 2 seed one year and lost to the Los Angeles Lakers with LeBron James and Anthony Davis in the first round. I mean, hey, I lost to the LeBron and AD. I didn't lose to bums. We were the 2nd seed that year. Ja Morant has had his problems, and now you guys want to start changing stuff up. Doesn't make sense to me. So Taylor Jenkins, and they're trying to implement this throughout the season, and 10 games, this happens last year, 10 games before the playoffs. Yes, Memphis was on a skid, but they were pretty consistent in the playoff picture throughout that year. Taylor Jenkins gets fired 10 games before the playoffs. You don't let your Coach of the Year candidate that has been with your franchise for a very, very long time, brought them back to relevance, brought them back to a standard, and implemented this culture. You fire him and make Tomas Isolos the interim coach for the playoffs. Why just not let him, and I didn't understand this with Denver as well, why just not let Mike Malone, why just not let Taylor Jenkins finish the season out with the team that they've been with for the whole damn year? And you wait before the playoffs to get rid of your head coach and then promote somebody else right before playoffs happen? So y'all get smoked by OKC, which was expected, and I don't know. I'm not saying that the result would have been different, but that does not make sense to me. That obviously means that there's somebody in the Memphis Grizzlies organization that said, no, we're doing this now. We're not dealing with Ja Morant. I don't care what he says. We're not getting his input. We want this guy. We want this coach for the future. So the writing was on the wall when they fired Taylor Jenkins. The writing was on the wall way before that, because what these organizations and what these teams are not going to do, when you mess up like Ja Morant is, you're expendable now. You no longer have autonomy to be and act like you want to, because these owners are going to try to put you in your place. These organizations are going to try to put you in your place, especially as a black man. When you have all that power, when stuff in an organization is running through you and you F it up, they going to make sure you're not in that position again. They going to make sure they move on from you, and they going to make sure that you're destroyed from that. So now we are in the position that we are in with Ja Morant. And I wanted to talk about the coach, and I wanted to talk about Ja Morant, and I wanted to highlight both of those scenarios and situations, because I'm not saying that it's all of the Memphis Grizzlies' fault and their organization. I'm not saying that. I'm also not saying that with Ja Morant and his mistakes that he made, it's all his fault as well. I think it's a mutual time for a split. I think this is best for both parties. And I think this is what Ja Morant needs in order to garner some of that superstar acclaim that he had once before, because he's season lows in a lot of stuff.
At this point in Ja's career and the way in which he's perceived in the media and by other teams as well, in conjunction with the way he's playing, which isn't so hot right now,
Mm-hmm.
where do you see him even going? I mean, the Hawks just traded Trae Young to the Wizards for 34-year-old CJ McCollum.
Mm-hmm. But they traded Trae Young because, number one, they would have to pay him this upcoming summer. They didn't want to pay him. And CJ McCollum, 34-year-old CJ McCollum, is on an expiring contract. So his contract is up this year. So his money is off the books. So then Atlanta can then go into free agency with more money. They already said, okay, we're not paying him. So let's just get Trae Young out of here. Let's get CJ for a year. His money goes off the books. And then we go into free agency with our young core going into the future.
Yeah, so my point is nobody wanted to pay Trae Young.
Yep. Who's going to want to pay Ja?
So in order for the Hawks to feel like they can get something out of it, they had to take a shot with some cap space and 34-year-old CJ McCollum. Ja Morant's not a cheap player as well. I know he might not be expecting a contract right now, but they still got to have to cover that. And skill-wise, public perception-wise, what team is going to want to take that on right now?
I think he has 2 years left on his deal, so he still does have some time. People are going to have to take that on. Who's going to want it? Sir, the Miami Heat need him. The
Is Miami Heat where all-stars go to die, other than like the Kings?
Okay, no. There's no all-stars that went to die there.
Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler went to the finals multiple times with that. He was relevant. He was in the hunt for actually winning something.
But if Jimmy Butler didn't want to stay in Miami, what makes you think Ja Morant is going to want to stay in Miami and follow rules?
If he's saying he wants to go there, he obviously wants to prove a point.
Because he wants to go to Miami.
But
He don't
you
want to
not
go to
go-
Miami.
But you not
He
go-
wants to go to Miami.
Even if, as a player, you know the reputation that Miami has, like, Pat Riley got y'all on lock. Like, yeah, you want to go to Miami, but you better know what comes with going to Miami. You better know that you can't have, like, you got to have this percentage of body fat. You got to know the discipline and the structure that this team is going to hold you to. Like, either know or you're out of here. Now your career is done. Ja Morant going and saying, I want to go into Miami is telling me that he's saying, I want to be disciplined. I want to have that structure.
Pause.
I want to have those people that can show me the way in the NBA and make me better. I feel like this would be a very, very good fit. Now, selfishly, I also would say Sacramento. That's because we reside around here and we would want to see the Kings relevant. But that's damn near his career going to die.
Yeah, I would never tell Ja Morant to come to Sacramento. I would personally love it, but
Personally.
his career would be done.
Yeah. Miami is a great place for him to go.
Does Miami want Ja? You're
I
just
don't
talking
know.
about structure and rules. Ja might be open to something like that, but is Miami as strict of a ship as they run? Are they even going to want to take a chance on someone like Ja coming out of that Jimmy Butler
What
situation?
do they got right now?
That white boy
Tyler Hero.
and that other one, right?
How have you ain't heard nothing about the damn Miami
Well,
Heat
ain't Tyler Hero hurt?
in 3. Thank you. He always hurt. He's always damn hurt. Man, Ja Morant is that like he's him. Like at his apex, we were just talking about that's just 2 years ago. What Ja Morant was doing, putting 45 on the Warriors in the playoffs. Like I remember them games and them battles he had with the Warriors. Like he was the one bringing it to them. Like that Ja Morant should still be somewhere in there, right?
So you think all this version of Ja we're getting right now is just because he's not having fun anymore still?
Because they changed the whole offense on him. He don't have the ball in his hands. Less usage for him. All that is in totality when you average all that out, that equals not happy, equals less numbers, equals everything that we're seeing from Ja Morant now, because y'all got this damn coach from Europe in here playing this system and y'all not messing with me, like y'all not rocking me like how y'all supposed to be rocking with me.
So I also did hear that Ja wants to go to Miami.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I was asking you. I really haven't heard whether or not Miami wants Ja. But are there any teams that have like expressed like they're open to Ja?
Other than Sacramento,
Dang, we said that?
I think earlier they were
Oh my
trying to. They were
gosh.
looking to trade.
Don't do it, Ja. Just go home. It's tough. Go overseas. I'm sorry.
Sac may be able to do something. with
Oh my
him.
God.
It's
Traffic,
a new GM.
Traffic bad enough, bro. Traffic bad enough.
It's a new GM now, so he may be able to do something. But that I
Ja don't want to go to Sacramento.
j- he don't
He don't wanna go to
he
Sacramento.
does not he does
He want to
not.
go to Miami. You don't be like Miami or Sacramento.
Yeah,
Right?
he
So
just like I was saying with the Mike Tomlin thing. Like Mike Tomlin was there for 19 damn years. Yes, you're winning and yes, you're doing your thing, but sometimes things get stale. Now, it was very weird for how Memphis has been operating the last couple years, but it's just time for a change of scenery for both parties.
what would Miami have to give up for Ja?
Probably Tyler Hero, probably some picks, if they even have any. I don't know what they traded when it came to Jimmy Butler compensation, but I think they traded some picks over the Warriors. So what do they have, and what does Memphis really want? Now, when you say I'm going to trade Ja, like you have to trade him now because he's not coming back to like play for you after the trade deadline. Like that doesn't happen. So I think Ja. The trade that you're gonna get for Ja is not gonna be like a wild trade. You don't have to give up a lot. I feel like for Ja these days because in everybody's eyes and perception, he's probably damaged goods now. Can he? It's gonna take a lot for him to revive his career and get back to where he was. People are begging on him to not do that, so he's probably going to go for less, just like a Trae Young went for less because they knew Atlanta has to trade him now. Atlanta don't want to pay him in the summer. They want to get at least something for him, clear some cap space, whatever. So they got CJ and what they got because they knew you have to trade him. So that's when you're out of leverage in a way.
But if you're Memphis and if you're getting rid of a past star or a potential still star like Ja Morant, and you're just trying to now free up that potential cap space along the lines in the future, would you do all that for Tyler Hero?
It depends what this European coach want. Obviously, maybe the European coach be like, "Oh, I like Tyler Hero and two other pieces."
Because I don't know if it's the same situation for Memphis, but I did hear that the Hawks were just as good without what's that boy's
Trae.
name? Without Trae Young when he was hurt versus when
Probably
he came
better.
back. So probably even better.
Mm-hmm.
Is Memphis better without Ja?
I think they're ass either way.
Damn, that's tough.
They're ass either way this
So
year.
it don't really matter.
Yeah, but that's why you put your faith in this coach that he's just gonna. Come on, man.
Well,
Come on.
when's their next pick? Better start praying, I guess.
Yeah, but
Damn, what does Memphis got now?
Memphis don't seem like it. Memphis don't seem like they're trying to win. They don't seem like they're trying to win.
No, it didn't seem like they was trying to win when they fired their coach 10 days before playoffs.
There you go. There you go. But they said they want future draft picks.
Oh, so that means they probably don't got one.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's tough.
They have a pick swap, LAC swap rights.
So do you think they should have just got rid of Ja a lot sooner, when he probably still had a little bit more
If you're
quality?
if you were gonna go in this direction, yes. If you were going to fire the coach that he liked and then implement an offense that the coach didn't like, and he was your assistant coach, and then to fire somebody like you could have just said, okay, let's just start over beforehand, and they didn't. So yeah, I definitely should have traded Ja if they wanted more compensation for him. They should have just traded him when he was doing all that extra stuff.
Honestly.
If this was the result of that's what they should have did. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what they're about to do. Let me just say this before we get out of here. I'm gonna be coming back to the people this week probably, but Anthony Davis tweeted something out.
Ooh, I was gonna ask you about him.
Yeah, because tell me if this makes sense. Shams reports on Anthony Davis.
The brittle man.
Okay, so Dallas. So this is what Shams tweeted originally. Anthony Davis is likely to undergo surgery to repair ligament damage in his left hand and miss several months, sources tell ESPN. His Dallas season is essentially over, given the prognosis and the Mavs' direction. And then he tweets update. Dallas's Anthony Davis will not require surgery on his injured hand after a second opinion with specialist Dr. Steven Shin in Los Angeles on Tuesday and will be reevaluated in 6 weeks. As reported earlier, the Mavericks have had renewed trade talks around Davis with multiple interested teams, and those conversations are continuing as Dallas stands 15-25, 12th in the Western Conference, and prioritizing the big picture outlook around Cooper Flag. So Anthony Davis, who hasn't tweeted in 6 years, comes out and says, y'all better stop listening to all these lies on these apps. And I don't understand. Yes, you're going to be reevaluated in 6 weeks, but yes, Anthony Davis, you're probably going to get traded. Yes, Anthony Davis, your Dallas Mavericks tenure after Nico Harrison decided to trade for you has been anything less than practical, predictable. Yes, probably predictable for who Anthony Davis is. And I'm being very, very careful in talking about this because I do appreciate Anthony Davis for what he did when he was a Los Angeles Lakers in that bubble. I was just thinking about it earlier. Rajon Rondo, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and the masterclass and IQ and just hooping ability that they were able to display in that bubble and win that championship. Commended. We'll remember it forever. But facts is just facts. You're never on the floor. Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis played one game together.
He's always on the floor.
Hand broke. Leg broke. Something always wrong. You are a great player, Anthony Davis, yes. But if you can't stay on the court, you can't stay on the court. If you're always getting injured, if you're literally always getting injured, what can we do? I don't understand what's pissing him off. Something else happened to you, and I know you're not making this shit happen to you. I know he's not making it happen to him. But you're never on the court. There's availability problems, and people are probably going to try to trade you and trade for you if they're a contender. And right over the cusp of like, okay, we can maybe win a championship if we add an Anthony Davis, but you're never on the court. You're never on the court. That's the only thing. And yes, your body breaks down. Some athletes can't, like, you can't do anything with that. Yes, that's the body that you were given. But you don't have to get mad. This is just the reality of the situation. This is just who you are and what you've been in your career. You're not going to play the consistent amount of games in order to carry a team and be that number one. LeBron James still had to carry the team at damn near 40. At damn near 40. Anthony Davis wasn't ready at the time, and it's the sad truth. He's a great player when he's on court. He's just never on the damn court.
Didn't he get hurt in his debut, Mavs debut?
Yes.
I would have traded that nigga then. That's why that trade still makes absolutely no sense. Because why would you trade a star for a man who is always injured?
Always.
And then gets injured in his debut. Nico, you should have been counting your days.
Nico got what he deserved?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Actually, he got a lighter sentence than I would have gave him.
Yo, but yeah, it's a lot more going on. I do want to get the Rich Paul angle. Rich Paul got a podcast with Max Kellerman now, and Rich Paul is just saying like the Lakers should trade Austin Reeves, and he's like giving hot takes and stuff, and people are like, how are you as an agent? How do you now have a podcast where you're like commenting on sports and players? Like, people are saying obviously he has an agenda with what he's saying. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that shouldn't even be allowed.
I mean, but what can you say? What can you say to that? Yes, he represents LeBron James. Yes, he represents Draymond Green. Yes, he represents a lot of players. And his business represents a lot of players in the NBA. But does that mean I can't have my opinions on sports? Does that mean I don't think the Lakers should trade Austin Reeves for Jaren Jackson Jr.?
I mean, if that means you're trying to get Jared Jackson Jr. on your
I'm not trying to do nothing. I'm not trying to do nothing. I'm just trying to this is what I think with my basketball mind. That's what he's saying. He said I ain't trying. But is there
put on your politician hat.
Yes.
That's definitely some
Yes.
sneaky-ish.
I don't know, man.
I mean, he gonna end up like the Clippers. You better watch out.
I don't know, man. But I'm gonna get out of here. This is another sports podcast. Thank you guys for joining. All right, peace.